Welcome to Goddess Garden Book Chat, book lovers. I'm your host, 11 Goddess. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad that you're here because today you're in for a very wild and utterly delightful journey. I enjoyed this book. I also enjoy that Scalzi picked Will Wheaton to narrate it because it is really a great way for this book to come to light. And the book that we're talking about is called Starter Villain. It's by John Scalzi. I think this is my third John Scalzi book. And it has that um, sort of feel of James Bond villainy and, you know, with cats. I guess that's the best way to put this story. Give it that James Bond villainy, cool like that, every situation I can face professionally with a cat. This book has so many layers. The cats are one, and they're phenomenal. Shout out to Hera. But go into the deep dive, meet me at the personal perspective, and we'll talk more about it.
Welcome, welcome, deep divers. And hey, a special shout out to everyone joining us today. Maybe you heard about us over at the Goddess Garden Book Chat. We're really excited about this one. We are diving deep into John Scalzi's fantastic novel, Starter Villain. It's a wild ride. Hilarious, surprisingly sharp. Our mission here is pretty simple. Pull out the best bits, the most, insightful nuggets from the book. So by the end, you'll have a really good handle on this amazing, chaotic story. Maybe even see villainy a bit differently.
Yeah, what's so great about it is how it slams together this really relatable everyday misery with like a world of talking dolphins and these super smart cats running a villain empire. It completely turns the whole idea of villainy on its head. Makes you wonder who the actual bad guys are.
It really does. And it kicks off with Charlie Fitzer. Oh, Charlie. His starting point is just painfully normal, like comically mundane. He's completely broke. His siblings are hassling him nonstop about selling his dad's old house. And, well, his main companion seems to be his cat, who probably thinks he's an idiot. And his big dream, not world domination, not a secret moon base. He just wants a loan to buy a local bar, a pub. That's it.
Just a simple, quiet life. Seems reasonable enough, right?
Totally. But then the Scalziverse decides, nope. His long-lost Uncle Jake suddenly dies, and Charlie inherits, well, not just money, a whole volcanic island, a secret villain empire, the whole 9 yards, and yeah, a cat that gives him this look like he just bombed the most important interview of his life.
Right.
It's that immediate contrast. Ordinary guy, extraordinary, terrifying inheritance, sets the tone perfectly. And seriously, if you listen to the audiobook, Will Wheaton, oh man, he is Charlie. It's like having your funniest, snarkiest friend narrating your accidental stumble into supervillainy. Every line lands.
He's perfect for it. And Scalzi just throws Charlie and you right into the deep end. Charlie expects, thugs and maybe some torture racks.
Yeah, the usual villain decor.
Exactly. But instead, he gets Mathilde. She's the AI assistant. Whoa. Super dry wit. Keeps that calendar managed with, like, terrifying precision.
Okay.
And then there's Oscar, the facilitator. This guy is hyper-professional. He runs the whole villain operation like it's a corporate merger.
Wow.
Super calm, super efficient, has an Ivy League law degree. Oh, and carries a silencer, standard office supplies.
Right, standard. So it's less evil lair and slightly homicidal startup.
Basically, yeah. It's this weirdly professional, almost corporate take on being evil.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and, honestly, a bit unsettling.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Right.
Who runs a villain empire like a Fortune 500 company? It's brilliant. And it just gets weirder from there, right? Like Miranda.
Oh, Miranda. Yeah.
Not just any dolphin. She's bilingual, super smart, and unionized. She doesn't just swim around. She negotiates contracts. Actual labor contracts. I mean, the dolphins have a union.
A union. It's fantastic. These aren't just trained animals. They're sentient beings who know their value. They've got demands.
So Charlie, the brand new accidental villain boss, has to sit down and, negotiate benefits packages with dolphins?
Pretty much. And the thing is, he finds out Uncle Jake, the supposedly ruthless villain, he actually believed in fair pay for the dolphins.
No.
Yeah. There's this great line, something like, if you're not laughing to these underwater meetings, you may need to check your pulse. It's absurd, but it asks a serious question, too.
Like, what kind of villain values fair labor?
Exactly. It forces Charlie and us to rethink everything.
Oh.
Power, ethics, even when dealing with, unionized sea mammals.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. This whole thing, Charlie just trying to figure out the rules of this very specific, strangely ethical villain world.
Right. It's a little steep learning curve.
But the dolphins, as wild as they are, they're not even the top dogs. Or, Top Cats.
Ah, yes. The cats. You figured it out. This is where Hera comes in.
Oh, okay.
Hera isn't just like the company mascot snoozing on the console. She's one of several hyper-intelligent feline operatives. And you slowly realize they actually run the whole show.
Run it, like the whole
The
organization.
worst thing, Charlie figures it out piece by painful piece. These cats aren't pets. They're the strategists, the decision makers, surveillance, planning, even emotional manipulation. It's all them, the brains.
Wow. Okay.
And they don't talk, not in words. They don't
Yeah.
need to. It's all in the stare, like the book says. They look at you like they know how your story ends. And spoiler alert, you're not in it.
Chilleth.
Totally. A flick of the tail, a slow blink. That's high-level executive communication in this world. It's hilarious, but also genuinely intimidating.
So what does this mean for poor Charlie? He's got cats for bosses, union dolphins for employees, and he's just trying to not get killed.
Pretty much. And he also has to deal with the other villains.
Yeah.
The more traditional ones who see Uncle Jake's death as feeding time.
Right, the sharks start circling.
Exactly. Like Giuseppe Fontina. This guy is your classic corporate evil. Wealthy Italian dude, fake charm, impeccable suits, zero soul.
Ah, that kind of villain.
The kind who'd torch your childhood home if it helped his portfolio, as the book puts it. He's all smiles at the fundraiser, but utterly ruthless underneath. He's a great contrast to Uncle Jake's weird brand of villainy.
Okay, so Charlie's caught between, like, cat management and corporate raiders.
And that's what forces his transformation. You see him go from this bewildered guy who just wanted a bar
Yeah.
to someone who actually starts to stand up, not just for himself, but for this bizarre little empire he inherited. He learns that being a villain, at least in this world,
Uh-huh.
it's not about maniacal laughter and doomsday devices. It's about refusing to play the game with the truly soulless types, the Fontinas of the world.
So the real villains aren't in volcano
You're
lairs.
in boardrooms, exactly. Charlie realizes the real evil is often quiet, corporate, and obsessed with the bottom line, no matter the human cost.
And he's got some backup, right? Besides the cats and dolphins, I remember Agnes.
Oh, Agnes, yes, she's the muscle. Cold, precise, says maybe 10 words in the whole book, but commands total attention.
Yeah, she sounds terrifying.
When Agnes shows up, things resolve. Explosions happen. People have meetings they don't walk away from. She's this incredibly efficient, loyal, and utterly scary asset for Charlie.
So he's learning to wield these unique assets.
He is. And it's through all this absurdity, the cats, the dolphins, Agnes, Fontina, that the book lands its punches. It's a really sharp critique, dressed up in humor.
A critique of capitalism, sort of?
Very much so. It uses this wild premise to poke holes in unchecked corporate power and makes you think about where the real villainy lies in our own world. It really blurs those lines between good and evil.
And all the way through, you have Will Wheaton's voice just making it perfect. We mentioned him earlier, but it's worth saying again.
Oh, absolutely crucial. He doesn't just read Charlie. He is Charlie. That initial confusion, the deadpan way he reacts to everything,
Yeah.
and then that slow build of confidence mixed with total exasperation. Wheaton nails it. He finds the humanity under the humor.
Right. He makes you believe in Charlie even when he's having tactical meetings led by a cat or arguing contract clauses with a dolphin. It just elevates everything.
Couldn't agree more. His performance makes the emotional beats land just as hard as the jokes.
So when you boil it down, starter villain is, well, it's satire with a real heart. It's absurd but meaningful. Clever but looks like chaos.
It's a love letter to the underdog, really.
Yeah, and maybe a reminder that sometimes the only way to fight the real evil is to kind of go full villain yourself in your own weird way.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is how it shows the most unlikely allies. The cats, the dolphins, even Agnes becoming this incredibly effective force.
Yeah.
It makes you think about where knowledge and power actually come from.
Right.
You know, it reminds us that knowledge is powerful when you actually understand it and use it, even if you learned it from a unionized dolphin. Truth can pop up anywhere.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. So look, if any of this made you smile or even just a little bit curious, you really should check out Starter Villain. Share it with someone. Listen to the audiobook. Maybe even throw it at your book club. See what happens.
You won't regret it.
Just remember the key takeaways. Respect the dolphins. And seriously, don't ever sit in Hera's chair.
Welcome back to the personal perspective, where I can share with you how I enjoyed this book. So I'm going to say that when you read this, by the time you get through to the end of Starter Villain, you realize that this isn't just about laughter. That's not the whole point of this book. and you're gonna laugh a lot. Um, but it's the absurd power structure, and it makes you question when you look up close, who's in control, who and why are they in control? And Charlie does an excellent job of sort of pushing back on that. And the way that the story unfolds is as Charlie starts to realize the journey that he's been thrust upon. You know, he's got to take over this empire and the people that he's coming across and the things that Charlie has to endure. And then the realization that technology has enhanced animals in such a way that he didn't even fathom that these things were possible, let alone happening around him, directly connected to him. The realizations of things about cats and dolphins and other animals is well worth this read. And shout out to my personal favorite character, Tobias the, how does he say it? Tobias the Stabber. That's what he calls him throughout the book. Tobias the Stabber. There's a very good reason why he calls him that, and that happens earlier in the book, and it really sets the tone. When you meet Tobias for the first time, trust me when I tell you, it sets the tone for the rest of the book. There's also a scene I want to give a shout out to when you're at the funeral. Well, I should say right before the funeral starts. The funeral director calls. I'm trying to recall this in order, so pardon my stumbling through this. But the funeral director calls and he asks Charlie, um, I have flowers coming in, and I'm not sure that you would want me to display these flowers. And Charlie's like, people are sending their condolences to my uncle. Absolutely. Put the flowers out. Make service look, nice or whatever. And the funeral director says, well, there's some wording on one of the vases that I have here. Charlie's like, what does it say? The vase says, suck it, MF, full on. And Charlie doesn't have the clue. Why would somebody send a vase that would say something like that about his uncle? It is so much fun to even think back on how that whole thing unfolded. So hopefully this deep dive intrigued you because it's the takeover of a villainous empire where you root for the takeover. I'm your host. Again, it's me, 11 Goddess. Subscribe, like, share, come back. I have so many more great books. They're wrong. I'm not doing this again. I told you. It takes a village. But I do have so many more good books to share with you. This one, definitely. If you've never read a Scalzi book, this one is a great one. I wouldn't say it's where you should start. I think The Dispatcher is a great place to start. That is such a unique and interesting story. I really like that book. So it led me to enjoying this, and I look forward to more. Hopefully, you'll be there with me. I'll see you next time as we personally dive into how these books shape up for me. In the meantime, and in between our time together, see you next time.